experience with the proven competencies in skill development, CSR, business development, sales operation, key account management, partnership and alliance, capacity building and talent acquisition. In-depth understanding in expanding the business through retail sales, B2B sales and the concept of sales while focusing increased revenue. Currently working in the space of empowering youth with the future skills and human skills through upskill online. So can we all welcome Ms. Maneesha Sharma with a big round of applause. Should I arrange a hand mic for you, ma'am? Yes, please. Thank you.
Hello, all of you. Can I have your kind attention, please? Ladies on the right, can I have your kind attention, please? Okay, so for a change, I am not going to go to the podium and address. Can I request for a hand mic? And I would love to do it from the floor here. I don't want to be standing high and addressing. I am at par, at level, learning, unlearning, relearning. And can I request the back-end team to please play the video first, and then I'll start with my session. Thank you.
All have different fingerprints. Flow if you have to with life. Swim against the stream, but don't be stagnant. Don't be stagnant ever, because even the purest of the water I put in a pot will start stinking. Unlearn, learn and relearn, and just adapt yourself so that you can become your better versions. One day, the next day, the next day, the next day. This is a non-ending process. I completely believe that we are unique. All have different fingerprints. Flow if you have to with life. Swim against the stream, but don't be stagnant. Don't be stagnant ever, because even the purest of the water I put in a pot will start stinking. Unlearn, learn and relearn, and just adapt yourself so that you can become your better versions. One day, the next day, the next day, the next day. This is a non-ending process.
So hello, I am a Tedx speaker. I have specially flown down from Gurgaon, Delhi to be with all of you today, and especially the students. Why? I will share with you. As I shared from the podium, I really don't know if all of you were there. So I'm a mother to a 90% handicapped child, son. There is no speech in him. He is 14 years old. And I'm a single parent. So Rudraksh, my son, was rejected by my husband and my in-laws because he was born handicapped. And that day, I had decided I will be working for the betterment of children, and this is my life purpose. I have enabled over 10,000 plus youth through skill development across Walmart projects, across Delhi government skill development projects, across my personal capabilities. They are working in the industry now, and they are entrepreneurs also. And though my son Rudraksh cannot speak, these 10,000 children, most of them call me Ma. So I have an extended family, and even though I have not, people will say, Maneesha, what are you earning out of it? This is one of the most precious earnings I have in my life. There is nobody who can take it away from me. I have my children calling me, my bacha parties, what I call them. I have my children calling me. They are married now. They have their own children. Somebody is a department manager. Somebody is a manager. Somebody is running a company. They are walking on their feet. Okay, and with this little introduction, I will start with my PPT. Okay, so my topic for today is HOTS. What is that? Hot, huh? Your generation knows the meaning. Hot. Women know it in terms of cooking, and the youth today knows it in some other versions they have in their minds. Now, HOTS is a fantastic, fantastic concept. This is called higher order thinking skills. You give it whatever jargon you want to give it, but this is human skills. And as I shared with you, the World Economic Forum report says that by 2040, the top 10 skills which are going to be impacting the complete world, and mind you, this is post-COVID. Out of top 10, 8 are going to be human skills. So we are talking about higher order thinking skills or higher order human skills primarily. Next slide, please. Old and the new normal. Old was something else. Suddenly we started founding ourselves in the current. Future has pulled us in. Nobody ever knew we will be wanting to talk about AL, AI, ML, and all those new jargons that we have, but suddenly we found we were shaken up, personally, socially, academically, corporates were shaken up. We had to build new systems, new standard operating procedures. Next slide. Okay, so when we talk about higher order thinking skills, I completely believe in one thing, and please remember that, all of you, the youth sitting here. One word, no attitude, no nothing, no what is important in life, no jargon. What is important in life? One word, energy. Only one word. Where are you giving energy? One, is that factor controllable? Is that factor not controllable? Am I giving thoughts to good? Am I giving energy to good thoughts? Am I giving energy to bad thoughts? Because whatever I give energy to is going to take shape in terms of my habits, in terms of my behavior, in terms of my everyday living, and ultimately in terms of my success. So, I will ask you a question again. And though this is a peace dome, I want this dome to resound with one word. How is the energy today? How is the energy today? Can we have fantastic? How is the energy today? How is the energy today? Let it resound. How is the energy today? How is the energy today? How is the energy today? Fantastic. Now that is what I'm talking about. Higher order thinking skills, higher frequencies. Okay? Now I've shared my life journey with you. I have been able to transform people with the energy talk that we do, with the sensitizations programs that we do with them, with the youth, with the corporate employees, with the government employees. Somebody was asking me, how are you able to do that? Government employees, at one point of time, with all due regards to everybody, took us 2 days to break the ice. While in the normal circumstances, it will take 2 hours. We took 2 days to break the ice and come down in terms with them, okay? Can I have the slide back, please? The next. The previous? Okay. So your belief systems have to be upgraded. Somebody tells you you cannot do it, stop feeding that in your mind. Stop allowing people to fill your glass. Stop allowing people to fill your glass. If your glass is empty, you have to choose what somebody will fill in it. So if somebody says it is not your cup of tea, if somebody says you are going to fail at this, stop listening to them. Do not put that in your glass, okay? You have to break down your old versions and become a newer you. So please mind it, when I started the journey with my son in 2007, he was born and he was rejected. I fought a 10-year of a legal battle in the court of law for my son's basic rights. And during this journey, I was driving a car, I was showing samples, I was taking orders worth crores of rupees for Milton and for Scholastic, for the companies I was working. I was working with CII as a deputy director and helping the central government form policies on persons with disabilities 2016 as an act. I was doing everything, and then I was going back home and preparing for the next day trial on a Saturday in the court of law, in a high court or in a 30,000 court, to fight for my son's rights. And every time I was injecting myself with bravery, with courage, with being in the present moment. And whatever I did for my satisfaction. I did not do it for anyone. I knew that what my son could not achieve in life, I wanted to see other children achieving. And they have achieved it. So HOTS is all about energy frequencies. The moment you shift your energy from a negative to a positive, you start becoming your positive version. And please mind it, that cannot be one day. It has to be every hour, every moment, every second. You have to ask yourself a question: where is my time going? Where is my energy going? If the answer is coming back as productive, please do that. Do watch that Netflix if it is giving you productivity. Please keep doing whatever you are doing on YouTube and WhatsApp if that is giving back to you in a productive manner. But if you are focused and you are sharply focused, you will not be doing any of that stuff. You will be only focused on you, and you will be asking yourself one question daily: what is it that I am getting back? Where is my energy going? Where is my energy going? Is it making me a better version, or is it making me a lesser version? Can you go back on the next slide, please? Okay, COVID came as a blessing. All was shaken up, and suddenly we found ourselves in future. We can go on the next slide, please. We are still going through a massive transformation, by the way. As I spoke from the stage, everyone has to keep changing their systems. From a worker perspective, if you look at the impact of automation and AI and ML, if somebody tells you they are very sure of what is going to happen in 5 to 10 years, please do not believe them. Please make your plans for 6 months only, next 6 months, as HR managers, as companies, because things are going to change. And nobody knows what change is coming up next ahead on our face. Can we move to the next slide, please? Okay, for existing workers, I very strongly believe, what is the key for you? Apart from one word which I gave you, that is energy, one more word I'm giving you today, and that is flexibility, adaptability. Please adapt. Please be flexible. One of the most rigid trees will fall when there are a lot of strong winds. But the tree which is flexible will bend down. It will not break. Be like water. If you are put in a glass, be the glass. If you are put in some other utensil, be that utensil. But keep flowing, unlearning, learning, and relearning. That is going to happen every day. And please channelize your energies into making you, not breaking you. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, with the great resignation still it is still in the full swing. We still see people resigning and more employees leaving their jobs. We know this leads to a low employee morale. I am not here to give gyan to the HR managers, please. I know everybody knows what is retention, what is attrition, how to manage their companies and the stuff they are doing. The next slide, please. Okay, Glassdoor reported, now this is a very interesting fact for companies. 35% of the employers who hire new employees do so expecting that more employees will quit in this year. That's such a new thing. If you already expected 1/3 of your new hires to leave, that is not a good way to start the hiring process. You are already on a back foot. Okay? So your HR policies have to be exceptional. Next slide, please. Rapid retooling. Now, HR has to do rapid retooling and students have to do rapid relearning, unlearning, learning. And I will keep repeating again and again and again and again as I keep repeating to my bachas and children and students that you have to keep one thought in mind: where is my energy going? Where is my time going? Where is my energy going? Where is my time going? If the answer is positive, please keep doing what you're doing. Otherwise, please change your habits. Start putting your energy into some positive thoughts. Next slide, please. Adaptability, prediction, and resilience. These came across as three most important aspects for not only industry, but the students. You have to be adaptable. You have to keep changing your ways. You have to believe in yourself. To hell with the hiring process. I will be an entrepreneur. I am Sakshi. Okay? And resilience. Can we go to the next slide and you will see what I'm speaking. Resilience. Resilience. Nature is nothing but resilience. Even in most of the dry lands, you can have nature popping up in the form of a flower. If nature can do it, if a flower can do it, which you pluck and move on, why can't you as a human being, which is one of the most intelligent form of animals on the planet? Next slide, please. Okay, what does it mean for business? Please set your radio frequencies on higher skills, better skills. I will not say multitask. Whatever you do with so much passion and learning in that field only that you become an expert and the company cannot do anything to remove you. They cannot replace you. Be irreplaceable. Be irreplaceable. They should not be able to replace you. That will come when you will keep enhancing your skills, breaking your old versions. Every day when your alarm sets morning 5 a.m. and you switch it off, you are cutting down your next version. But every time you wake up 5 in the morning and you focus on yourself, every piece of energy that the Almighty has given you, you are making yourself in a better version. Next slide, please. Time for change. Change, 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 change. That is why we are born. Our body is changing. Do you know that? Our body is changing. What we eat is becoming us. Skin keeps peeling off. And after a few days, we have altogether new skin. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have disrupted future of work, which means we have a disrupted workforce, workspace, work culture. It is going to be humans. Future is going to be humans working in collaboration with machines. I will share one example. So Decathlon is still, I have a lot of friends in the HR fraternity. They hire from us. So Decathlon is one of those very strong hirers from us in Delhi NCR and Pan India as well. So they had been hiring, but during and post-COVID, what happened was the HR manager would call me and say, Maneesha, do we have candidates who are good at designing? Somebody, do you have somebody who can also sell, like retail, sports, but who is also good at video editing? Okay. So this had started coming, this has already started coming in. And my students, I told them that COVID has come in as a blessing because you are getting opportunities to learn free courses online. There were so many free courses online, remember? And now those same courses are paid. So the students who were able to make advantage and take advantage of that time and that opportunity which COVID threw at their face are somewhere else now in life. Next slide, please. Okay, for the HR managers, it is real-time feedback versus annual reviews. As I discussed from the platform, please have some tools ready. Do not have those WhatsApp groups. They cannot be official WhatsApp groups. WhatsApp can never be official. Collecting data versus predictive analytics. Analyze which stream you should join as students. Why? Where do you see yourself 2 years down the line? And I will give you a simple mantra on how you can keep yourself focused. Though money is it's a side effect, I would say. Your passion comes first. But give yourself a number. So in 2 years, I want to see myself earning 5 lakhs a month. Give it a number. And follow that 5 lakh number till you achieve it. HR tools, more employee focused, and finally customer focused, increase digital diversity. We have spoken about that from the platform, so I'm not going to repeat all that. Next slide, please. Okay, this is why I'm here. Academia and industry. We have a lot of gap. Huge gap. The professors and the academia need to be on the same page as the industry is, but the industry doesn't have time. Hello, how many guest lecturers can we send? And how many times? What is in for us? Yeah? So there's a huge gap which needs to be filled in. Next slide, please. I see this being filled across all streams. Next slide, please. Whether it is engineering, science, okay. I call it MPC, which is most placeable candidate. You have to become one of the most placeable candidates. And that will happen only with higher order thinking skills. You have to start thinking today, planning today for what you want to be 5 years down the line. Next slide, please. Skills again, next slide, please. How the workplace will change in next 10 years. Okay, so this is a little eye-opener. Next slide. Middle management will have different responsibilities. They already have different responsibilities now. They are supposed to be multitasking. We were talking about that from the stage. You know, a sales guy was initially only expected to sell, but now he's expected to sell and do and this and that and that and this and this. And then finally again, the HR manager will say, okay, what did you do? Yeah, I am going to cut your salary. Because in Delhi, we call it the lalas. The lala doesn't have money, the owner, the business owner. Huh? Upskilling and digital dexterity will outweigh tenure and experience. So upskilling has to be there and digital dexterity has to be there. You have to be digitally equipped. Employee data collection will expand. So I already see companies expanding a lot of data points for employees. Initially, it was only name, email ID, and phone number. Now it has extended to various other parameters. Smart machines will be your colleagues. We will work for purpose and passion, not just money. So if you are planning to work for passion and purpose, as we spoke from the stage, you will walk a long run in this world in terms of your career. But if it is only money, it is going to be short-lived, because then the grass will always be greener the other side. Somebody is paying you 1 lakh, somebody else is paying you 1.5 lakhs. But are you passionate enough for what you are doing is what matters. Remote work-life balance will reveal challenges. So we spoke about the challenges from the stage also, the podium also, on what challenges we have been facing. I also keep getting my HR fraternity friends telling me, Maneesha, we don't even know if they are actually attending the Zoom calls because the video is off. And at times the audio is also off. So this is one. And the second mentality which I see in the employees and on the employee side is, for some of the companies which I work for, is Maneesha ma'am, what do we have to do? Log in, log out. Morning log in, evening log out is the mentality. So it is no work, only pay. Which is a very sickening mentality, by the way. It is not only the HR managers on one side, but the employees also who have to pull up their socks and be loyal towards the firms and organizations they work for, and be loyal towards and passionate towards the cause they work for. Next slide, please. Higher order thinking skills such as innovating, creating, and critical thinking are now in high demand. So you can note down innovating, creating, and critical thinking. And I will come to it in a short while. Next slide, please. Okay, this is what I was asked to present. So the bottom three which you see, remembering, understanding, applying, is rote learning. Parrot. Learn the definition, copy paste in the paper. This is not required. Top three is what I'm talking about, which is analyzing, your ability to be able to analyze, evaluate, and create. And when we say analyze, take info apart and explore relationships. Evaluate is your judgment and your critique. And creating is what you design and build, what new systems you create. Next slide, please. The benefits are humongous. They will increase your creativity and innovation levels. They will increase your learning levels. They will increase your real life scenarios and you to be able to survive in toughest of the situations. And you will be able to collaborate. Next slide, please. I will give you a task now. So how many of the students have a pen and paper here? Do all have pen and paper? Okay. I'm giving you one statement, the top statement. I'm always demotivated because, and you have to write 2-3 lines in continuation to that. So, okay, so you have to complete the sentence. I am always demotivated because. Complete the sentence quickly, 3-4 lines. Can I have? So I'm just trying to understand what is demotivating people in life in general. I'm always demotivated because, just write 2-3 lines. And somebody who has written can just raise their hand and tell me, and I'll come back to you. Can someone keep a timer here? 5 minutes at the back end. Can we keep a timer? 5 minutes? Or let it be 3 minutes. 3 minutes of a timer. I'm always demotivated because, just write down your reasons so I can understand, you know, what is it that is demotivating you. Can I have the friends here? Tell me when the time is up. Okay. Anyone who has written already? Students? Anyone from the HR fraternity who is attempting? So I'll not ask you, I'll come to the students first. You already had your turn when you spoke. Have you written? Anyone? You have written. Okay. So what is your reply? I should read it? Can I read it, or you'll just speak in my ear? Okay, so the first answer has come because I cannot stay positive at every moment. I am always demotivated because I cannot stay positive at every moment. Mind the language, Angrezi, English. Yeah, okay. Let others write and then I can wind up. Anyone else from the students who has written? Yes. So always demotivated because, okay, yes, Sakshi.
Because I choose what I feel is right more than what other people take forward.
Okay, so I had enough examples. I will give you, so I have tested this many times. 99% of our students will start writing paragraphs on why am I demotivated always. I said, complete the line or complete the paragraph. In the classroom, I only had one student out of 100 who got up and said, I disagree with your statement. I am not always demotivated. Most of the times I am motivated. I am talking about rote learning methodology. This has gone in the DNA and the blood so much that whatever the trainer, professor, the employer, the boss is saying is the word or the law. Did I say you cannot write anything else? You could have written, I am always motivated. I disagree with your statement. I am a different breed. So a similar testing we have done in the schools. So when we go to those smaller toddlers and we ask them what color is apple, they would say red. Rote learning. And we would be carrying red and green and yellow apples with us. And we would tell them, okay, apple is not only red, it can be any color you want to give it. Apple phone has a different color of apple only. Okay? Now, the next exercise that I want to do with you, I will ask all of you to please close your eyes. And when I say please close your eyes, no cheating. Okay? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. It's such a fantastic day. So can I ask you to leave your phone, please? Close your eyes. Phone is there. Okay. Close your eyes. Breathe. Deep in, deep out. Now shift your entire focus on your left eye. Shift your entire focus on your left eye. Your focus is on your left eye. And please thank your left eye for seeing the world that it sees for you. Shifting your focus on the right eye, and thank the right eye for seeing the world that it sees for you. There are so many people in this world who are blind and are not able to see. Thank both of your eyes for seeing the world they see for you, for enabling you better than those people who are not able to see. shift your focus on your left ear. Your left ear, and thank your left ear for hearing and listening what it wants to hear. Shift your focus on the right ear and thank your right ear for enabling you to listen to what you want to listen to. And now thank both of your ears and say, thank you so much for enabling me to listen and hear what other people have to say, and for making me a better version, because there are so many who cannot listen. And now close slowly, open your eyes, and be in the present moment. Okay. When I said shift your focus to the left eye, did your focus shift to the left eye? Yes? Okay. When I said shift the focus to the left right ear, was it happening? It was happening. Okay, great. The next exercise, and then I'm closing my session. And that is going to be a quick session, quick exercise. Huh? So you have to just focus on me and copy what I'm doing. Huh? Okay? Can we start? And I have to be in the front so that the dignitaries sitting here don't feel left out, and they are also are a part of the exercise that we're doing. Okay, now, your right hand up, wiggle. Quick, 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 quick. Left hand up. Left, right. Up, 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 sir. That's cheating now. Both the hands up now. Wiggling, wiggling, wiggling. Okay, 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 okay. Touch your eyes. Touch your eyes, quick, quick. Touch your ears. Touch your ears, touch your nose. Chin, cheek, chin, cheek, cheek, chin, chin, cheek, chin, cheek, chin, cheek. No chin. Okay. Okay. So, what happens is, when your mind is calm, and I am saying focus on your left ear or left eye or right eye, the focus is shifting. But when the life is throwing so many balls at you, chin, cheek, and heads and hands up, and dancing to the tunes of wife at home, and dancing to the tunes of husband, and then the students, and then whatnot, and then the vendor with whom we are trying to bargain, and then coming up to the self-expectations, when life is throwing so many things so quickly at you, then your mind is not able to work properly. And it's not able to even decide what is chin, what is cheek. So whatever Maneesha ma'am is doing, you're copying. If it is, I'm saying this is chin, people are saying yes, chin. But this is not chin, right? So all I'm trying to say is, whenever you're making decisions in life, please don't be in a hurry. Please calm down, recollect yourself. Collect what you're focusing at. Focus all your energies on your passions. Think what you're working for and why. Why you're here on this planet, for what purpose. And what impact are you going to make when you leave this planet and you finally close your eyes. Okay? With this, I'm ending my session. Thank you so much. Honored and grateful being here. And that's all that HOTS is, higher order thinking skills. Please keep your mind calm, just like water, and you will be able to see your own reflection. But if your mind is angry, it is frustrated, it is not in that state of calmness, it will not be able to decide and think clearly. Okay? Thank you so much. Once again, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an energetic session. I guess that was much required after lunch. So now we would welcome our next guest, that is next keynote speaker, Mr. Sitaram Kandi, Director HR of Tata Motors. He is accomplished professional with 27 years of progressive experience in human resources. He has set up greenfield projects and been a part of major acquisitions, which includes the acquisition of a Ford factory in Gujarat. He is a chairman of board of apprentice and convener of CII, and also advisory for AICT. He has recently accomplished 100% women assembly line. I would request technical team to play the video.
मैं वैष्णवी, मैं टाटा मोटर्स में गाड़ियां बनाती हूँ। मैं अकेली ही नहीं बल्कि टाटा हैरियर और टाटा सफारी एसयूवी की पूरी असेंबली लाइन महिलाओं की है। हाँ, आपने सही सुना। रास्ते पर चलती हर एक टाटा सफारी और टाटा हैरियर पूरी तरह महिलाओं ने बनाई है।
मैं धनश्री। प्रीमियम एसयूवी गाड़ियाँ खुद के हाथों से बनाने का एहसास कैसा होता है ये मैं बता नहीं सकती।
मैं बताती हूँ मुझे कैसा लगता है। मेरा नाम है नेहा और मुझे ये काम करके बड़ा पावरफुल महसूस होता है क्योंकि हम गाड़ियाँ ही इतनी पावरफुल बनाते हैं।
मेरा नाम मोनिका है। गाड़ी तैयार होने के बाद हम इसकी जांच करते हैं। ये रास्ते पे चलने के काबिल पूरी तरह से सुरक्षित हो तभी हम इसे आगे भेजते हैं। जब भी हमारी बनाई हुई गाड़ी जांच में पारित होती है और हर एक कसौटी पर खरी उतरती है, हमारा दिल गर्व से भर जाता है।
मेरा नाम प्रियंका है। टाटा मोटर्स में काम करने की वजह से मुझे जिंदगी का सही गियर मिल गया। टाटा मोटर्स ने मुझे बहुत आत्मविश्वास दिया। मैंने कभी सपनों में भी नहीं सोचा था कि मैं गाड़ियाँ बनाऊंगी। लोगों को लगता है गाड़ियाँ बनाना मर्दों का काम है, लेकिन टाटा मोटर्स की महिलाओं ने ये गलत साबित कर दिया। हम सब 20-25 साल की लड़कियां हैं जो असेंबली लाइन का सारा काम करती है। 15 किलो का विंडशील्ड भी उठा लेती है। भारी कामों के लिए हमें रोबोट्स और मैनिपुलेटर्स चलाने का प्रशिक्षण भी दिया गया है।
हमारे यहाँ लगभग 1500 महिलाएं नाइट शिफ्ट के साथ साथ 3 शिफ्ट में काम करती है और सैकड़ों गाड़ियाँ बनाती है। आज हम आपको कौशल्यपूर्ण और आत्मविश्वास से भरी दिखाई दे रही है, लेकिन हमारा यहाँ तक का सफर कठिनाइयों से भरा था। हमने जब गाड़ी बनाने की फैक्ट्री में काम करने की इच्छा प्रकट की तब हमारे आसपास के लोगों ने हमारा मजाक उड़ाया, हम पर संदेह जताया और अविश्वास दिखाया।
इसी दौरान टाटा मोटर्स ने दिया हुआ हौसला बहुत मायने रखता है। महिलाओं के सुरक्षा का विशेष ध्यान रखते हुए हमारी कंपनी ने असेंबली लाइन में बहुत सारे स्ट्रक्चरल परिवर्तन भी किए हैं।
पहले जब हमने बताया कि हमें नाइट शिफ्ट में काम करना है तो घर वाले बिल्कुल राजी नहीं थे। फिर टाटा ने हमें हमारी सुरक्षा का विश्वास दिलाया। हमारी सुरक्षा के लिए हर रोज 2 सिक्योरिटी गार्ड के साथ बस हमें कंपनी से घर के दरवाजे तक छोड़ती है।
सुरक्षा के साथ साथ हमारे खाने का भी ख्याल रखा जाता है। फैक्ट्री के डॉक्टर्स हमें पौष्टिक और संपूर्ण आहार मिले इसका पूरा ख्याल रखते हैं। इसी प्रकार का सहयोग जरूरी होता है किसी भी कंपनी में विविधता समाने के लिए। टाटा मोटर्स की वजह से हमें हमारा आगे बढ़ने का सपना पूरा करने का मौका मिला। पढ़ाई के साथ साथ जॉब की वजह से हम हमारे परिवार की सारी जरूरतें पूरी कर सकते हैं। टाटा मोटर्स का कौशल्य डिप्लोमा हमें कमाने के साथ साथ आगे सीखने का मौका भी देता है।
आज मैं भारत की सबसे ज्यादा बिकने वाली एसयूवी बनाती हूँ। एक दिन मैं वो जरूर खरीदूंगी। मैं मेहनत करके मेरा सपना पूरा करूंगी।
अच्छी किस्मत की जरूरत नहीं, जब मेरा जुनून है साथ में और किसी से कोई उम्मीद नहीं, मैं खुद बदलूंगी हालात में। मेरी लकीरें मिटाना किसी के बस में नहीं, क्योंकि मेहंदी वाले नहीं है मेहनत वाले हाथ में।
I would request Honorable Professor Dr. Sunita Karad ma'am and Swati More ma'am to join us on stage and felicitate the guest. Felicitation. have a big round of applause? Now I would request Mr. Sitaram Kandi to address the audience on the topic of diversity inclusion guidelines for HR professionals.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Actually, I had to go to my factory in the morning, and after lunch I was coming here. I was in two minds. Should I come or should I not come and bunk it? Well, college days, bunk is in the blood. So I was thinking, should I bunk? Because MIT normally gives a very good lunch. And I was so certain that participants would be sleeping. What is the value add? I'll go and make them sleep more. So better I can bunk and allow them to sleep. But I thought, let's go and have a look. And then I got an opportunity to listen to such wonderful session and energetic session. And I also got a shock from Ms. Mukherjee. She said, you handle industrial relations, be careful. One of my friend got shot. So that was a good welcome wake-up call that industrial relations will also have this issues, right? Whenever someone calls me from an institute to come and talk, I don't miss an opportunity to go and talk. Because when I was in Management Institute, the college used to put me in a room and lock the door and call a speaker, right? And I would say that this college is very generous. The doors are open. In those days, the doors used to be locked. And the speaker we have to listen to the speaker. And for whatever reasons you don't listen, you are out of campus placements. So we had no choice but to listen to the speaker. I think you're all fortunate to sit and listen, but the doors are open. Even if you happen to sleep, don't worry. Just relax. I assure you that you're not going to miss anything. I'm not going to talk about jargons. I'm not going to talk about philosophies, textbooks. So rest assured, because these kids, they do very well. How many of you are from the COVID batch, or 1 year you stayed at home? 1 year you all stayed at home? No one? No COVID batch? Okay. Fortunate. I have 2 kids, 2 daughters. Both happen to go to college. I actually tease them COVID batch because the laptop used to be in one room, professor was talking, and these were all roaming around. More than them, me and my wife have attended more classes than the kids. So now I am double MBA, heard the lessons twice. Right. So I'm sure all of you also had that wonderful time. So I've been asked to talk about diversity and inclusion. You name it these days, you see this topic everywhere in the newspaper, magazine, any college, any institute, any company. Everyone talks about diversity and inclusion. Right? So what exactly is diversity and what exactly is inclusion? They appear to be same. They always are spoken together, but exactly they are not the same. Right? by nature, we are inclusive whenever it is compulsion. But given a choice, we are never inclusive at all, right? Like, I have changed a lot from the way my father used to treat me and the way I am treating my kids. I've become more inclusive, I feel, right? And I don't know whether my kids have become so inclusive or not. Every day I keep telling, I think some of the people who have gray hair will absolutely agree with me. We are the last generation species on earth who had to listen from both ends. We never questioned our parents. We can never question our kids. We learn from our kids. We also learn from our parents. So we are the last generation who will learn from two sides. We have become inclusive. We have become inclusive to learn from both ends. But are we inclusive in our workplace? Are we inclusive in our institutions? How many HR professionals here? Wow, a lot of them. Fantastic. Do you all have diversity targets? You all have? Yes, no? Yes? Today, every HR manager is given a target saying you should have 20% diversity in the company or 10% diversity in the company. We do have. So, my recruitment manager came and said, sir, we have a diversity target. We have to hire 10% women in our workplace. Tell me the positions which women can do. We will hire there. I said, first, please get out of the cabin. If you already come up with a mindset that women can only do a certain job, then where is the inclusion? It doesn't work. Right? So I'm going to share a few of my real life examples when we worked on diversity and inclusion. As I said, they're not rocket science, simple things. Right? So in one of the factories, we were transferring the production line from US. This was to make the truck frame for railway engines. You see an engine, and at where the wheels are mounted, that's called a truck frame. And it is a welding, it's a heavy welding. And once a truck frame is put on a track, you don't bring down for next 100 years. So that has to a life for 100 years. So the welding plays a very, very big role. We were transferring line from US. So I proposed that why don't we have women do the welding. So the production manager said, we were both in US to look at the line. The production manager said, have you seen people who are doing welding? So the people who were doing welding were like the bodybuilders, big arms, sleeveless shirt and a tattoo on the hands. They were the guys who were doing welding with a big gun. I said, how can it happen in India? And how can it happen, a woman doing in India? It's next to impossible. First of all, we don't have women welders. On that heavy welding, how is it going to happen? So we said, let's take the traditional one, but let's also take some extra. Let's give a try. We recorded how the welding happens. We went across many colleges and showed the video to the students and said, is anyone interested to do this kind of work? So I think we got about 10, 12 colleges, but we found 15 girls coming forward after seeing the video, saying, this is the work I can do. They came forward. Then we collected, we brought them. We put them through an institute for 3 months, rigorous training on welding. They have never seen the building. Forget about touching. They've never seen the building. But these girls took up the challenge. 3 months certified. They came onto the line. But because the equipment was so heavy, we had to put some manipulators, we have to put some hydraulic equipment, helping them to lift, and they started working. Exactly 1 month later, the production manager comes and says, Sita, can you do something? I said, what happened? Now what happened? He says, can you terminate these 27 men and replace all of them with the girls? Just in 30 days. And after 3 months, one girl went for global welding competition and she became the best welder in the world in just 5 months of touching the gun. So to my HR friends and colleagues and to all the students who get into the job, don't run after the numbers. Don't run after filling the percentages. You lose the essence. Lot of questions, lot of times people ask, in manufacturing there are no women. In manufacturing you don't get a manager, see on the shop floor. Absolutely, we don't have women on the shop floor. Just go back to the institutes. Manufacturing engineers come from mechanical stream. If you go to any college, you hardly find 1 or 2 girls in mechanical stream, that too new, but otherwise you don't find them. So there is no growth path, but somewhere somebody has to start. So get back. The video what you saw is one of such attempts. Because we don't have women in the manufacturing, we hired 1,500 girls. We put them on a line, all fresh out of school, 12th passed, from a remotest of the place where college was a problem, money was a problem. We brought them, we put them on shop floor. They work 5 days on the shop floor, 6th day they study. They are doing manufacturing diploma, and we have a pipeline to send them to do their engineering after they complete their diploma. So this is a pipeline that every year our plan is to phase out 1/3 of the women to pass out, go to engineering college and do engineering, and we keep bringing a new set of women onto the line. Now coming to the inclusion part, especially to the HR leaders, some of the examples what we used to do to measure whether the managers we have on the line are inclusive or not. We used to prepare an inclusion report card for them. While we do the performance appraisal at the end of the year, we used to check that while you are recruiting, were you consciously bringing diversity into your team? It's just not the gender diversity. Are you going to the same company and hiring? Are you going to the same region and hiring? Are you hiring people from same business backgrounds, right? So you are from an automotive, you keep hiring people from automotive. So where is the diversity? So we used to prepare a report card and challenge them that, are you bringing diversity in your workforce? So to the students, again coming back to my home, you know, when we were young, especially this time, Diwali, this used to be the best time of the year. All our focus used to be on kitchen, and all our thought process used to be, what is my mother making for this Diwali? And we used to have a long list given to my mother that we want this sweet, and all. If I look back today, my kids don't have any interest in the kitchen. At the same time, very little interest what's getting cooked in kitchen and what's getting prepared for Diwali, because they have included Zomato in their life. So more than mother, I think Zomato took away the place. It's not necessary that something has to come from kitchen. The mostly comes from Zomato and Swiggy. Similarly, we have changed so much with the customer. We cannot say anymore that diversity and inclusion is a fancy thing or a percentage. Every report you read, every statistics you look at it, the companies which have diverse workforce and the companies which are inclusive are 50% more innovative. The companies which have a leadership, inclusive leadership, most likely be successful than a company which is not inclusive on the top. So there are numerous reports. You open any report, it talks about inclusion. But it still is a surprise when we talk 101, we always are stuck with our traditional thought process. We don't come out of the traditional thinking that these particular jobs can be done by one section or this particular jobs cannot be done by a particular section and so on and so forth. So my suggestion both to the HR fraternity and to the students who will enter into the organization is don't take diversity as a percentage and tick the box. Always go 2 steps behind. Always enable the process, right? So another example, in one of the remote locations, we were struggling to get students from different states because we wanted to bring diversity on the shop floor. It was easy for us to let go. We could have easily said, okay, it's not possible. We are not getting employees from other states and let go. We went, we spoke to students, we spoke to the freshers, why they are not coming. The biggest reason they found was they were unable to find the accommodation. So someone coming from a particular state was not being given accommodation. Because it spread so much that they don't get an accommodation, they were never coming. Then we have to speak to a local landlord. We have to convince him to invest. We convinced him to build a hostel, and the hostel exclusively for us and whomever we put there. Now we have people from that state coming and working. So if in any company, in any institute, any place there is no diversity, probably there is a reason behind. Unless you look at, it's very, very tough to fulfill the diversity and inclusion part. Now coming to the inclusion, as I said, diversity and inclusion go hand in hand, but inclusion is something which is a culture, which is not just policy and systems. Whenever you're speaking, is your conversation inclusive? Right? Recently I was attending one of the sessions. The speaker was talking about bringing diverse workforce to manufacturing industry. That was the topic. During the whole conversation on the dais, the speaker kept on saying, we are finding it difficult to recruit him. We are finding it difficult to hire that person. We are finding it difficult because he may not join us. You are already predetermined that you are only going to recruit a he, then there is no question of diversity. So look at your small things. Don't worry about the big things. Are you really creating the environment to be inclusive? Are you creating the atmosphere where people can come express themselves? It's not easy because we have been brought up like this. We are human beings. It's very difficult to change the practice systems, but someone has to consciously do this. If we go at the same pace, somebody was telling me, sir, I don't believe in statistics, nor do I do a lot of reading, but somebody like this institute was telling me that if we go at the same pace at which we are going, on bringing diversity at workflows, just gender diversity, forget about all the other diversity. That person said, it is going to take another 99 years for us to have 50-50 at workplace. And he went on to say that it is going to take 250 years for us to have equal pay at workplace. Just imagine 250 years we have to wait if we have to be inclusive. There's something seriously wrong with all of us. Yeah, I think the group sitting here, we can do our bit. We can do at our workplace. If we are unable to change the world, we can definitely change our own company. And a lot starts with HR team. Many a times, we run behind number of training hours, number of training mandates, budget available in the month of March, so push everybody into the training hall. So much percentage of diversity, so bring them and put them in the jobs which are insignificant. Trust me, if you are looking at diversity, inclusion is your agenda, bring them and put them in the toughest job you have. If you put them in the toughest job, that becomes a reference for everyone else to make it. If you are trying to start from bottom, that first let's put in an easy job, you will start and end in an easy job and they don't come to the significant positions at all. Pick up the toughest. It's difficult, but there are huge number of people out who are ready to take the challenge. Probably we have not knocked their door. Just go and tell them, this is the tough challenge we have. Are you willing to take up this challenge? There are huge number of people, right? I don't know how many of you have been to a restaurant called Dialogue in Dark. No? I was fortunate. I visited a restaurant called Dialogue in Dark. It was absolute eye-opener for me. It's a pitch dark restaurant. You have to take out your everything which shines, like your watch, specs, phone, you have to deposit. And the minute you step in, it's absolute dark. You don't see anything. So someone will come and hold your hand and take you and make you sit on a table. And whatever you order, they come and give you, and they hold your hand and tell that this is where your glass is, this is where is your papad, this is where is your pickle, and you eat. After you finish your dinner, when you walk out, when they walk along with you, that's when you realize that they were 100% blind. Right? So, I don't know how many of you have gone to lemon tree restaurants. Everyone who serves there, right, are challenged. I don't know how many of you have noticed going to Star Bazaar. People who replenish the stores have their own challenges, but they're doing fantastic jobs. I don't know how many of you know that some of your Titan watches are assembled by 100% blind people. So they do wonders, right? It's just that our mindset, we don't want to be inclusive, we make our judgment. And I tell my own story. This is my last story. We were building a new factory, so we wanted to have a perspective of having an inclusive building, right? So we said, who better can give? So we got some students as summer interns for 2 months. We said, please spend your 2 months in our building. Make a note. What are the challenges, issues you are facing while you are moving around in the building, so that helps us to improve the building. They did spend. One student, Sion, completely blind, very, very techno-savvy. He's still there on Facebook, he's there on WhatsApp, he's there on LinkedIn, absolute blind. He used to hate. He used to hate us when someone asked him for help. He used to say, if you need help, let me know. Right? He used to go on his own to canteen, he used to go to any meeting. Because he had so much of technology, you send a mail, used to convert into voice, and used to reply in seconds, much faster than us, much quicker than us. And he had shown that he can do much better than me. It is just our mindset. We have so much of restrictions, limitations that certain people cannot do and I can do better. The reason I'm bringing these real life stories is I've seen it. It's very difficult to believe, but inclusion is seeing, believing, accepting, and including them. Just by having a number, percentage, or doing it for the sake of ticking the box, we are not doing any good to the cause. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such an inspirational stories with us. Now we'll move ahead with our second panel. For that, I would request Honorable Dr. Sunita Karad ma'am and Swati Mourya ma'am to join us on stage. I would also request Dr. Rahul More sir to join us on stage. We'll start with a guest for the felicitation now. First, our first panelist for the panel 2 is Mr. Paresh Sawan, Director HR Operations from Zinsar Technology. Mr. Paresh Sawan. Okay, next we'll start with Ms. Sandhya Pandey, VP Engineering, Product and Development. Can we all have a big round of applause? Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Vivek S., Founder and Director of Purec Live. Can we have a big round of applause? Thank you. Thank you, dignitaries. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us on the stage. Now I would also like to welcome Ms. Nabomita Mazumdar for the discussion. And at the last, I would like to welcome the moderator of the panel, that is Mr. Sudhir Mateti, Head HR from Sintel. I would also request Professor Swati More ma'am to join the panel. I would also request HR from Emerson Media to join us on the stage for the panel discussion. I'd like to welcome Ms. Anjali from Emerson Media, Head of Talent Acquisition. Can we all welcome her with a big round of applause? So topic of today's discussion would be Armoring to the Conquer, Challenges of HR in the Era of New Normal, Vision 2030. Over to you, sir.
Check. Check. Hello.
Good afternoon. After a very interesting two sessions, one from Sitaram and one from Maneesha, the bar of expectation is very high now. And I'm very enthused to see the enthusiasm of the students. And, I hope that this panel discussion would also give you some more insights on the topic that we are trying to address. Quickly, my name is Sudhir Mateti. I head the HR for Sintel Telecom and NK Converge Technologies. I'm the moderator for the session. I'll ask each panelist to introduce themselves in a quick short time. Over to you, Anjali.
Thank you, everyone. I hope I'm audible to the last sitting over there. So it was very sudden for me to join along with the panel over here. I'm most honored, feeling very good. The moment I got this invite, I was assuming that most enthusiastic students I'm going to meet with the new brain and talents. After lunch, also they are very attentive. So that's a good sign. And thank you all over giving your previous, I hope everyone have their weekends planned, but among you managed to be here. So yes, I'm myself Anjali. I'm talent acquisition from Emerson Electric, especially for Innovation Center, meant for research and development, famous for filing patent. So the quality of resources we have is among scholars and also the PhD holders. What they do is most innovative things from the existing product and the process. So yes, innovation makes you different from the existence. What we are doing over here, probably from the MIT University, this organized event is, I think, meant to have a brainstorming, challenges, discussions from the students' end, from the HR professionals' end. Pleasure to be here, and also would like to entertain few of the questions from the team. And thank you so much again, the board members. Thank you.
Okay.
Nabomita, over to you.
Good afternoon. I'm Nabomita, and hope you remember me. You heard me just few hours back. So yes, I'm the same person. Nothing more to introduce myself. I look forward to this panel. I'm extremely honored to be a part of this panel because I did have the opportunity to speak to him. So yes, the kind of interaction I had with him over the lunch, trust me, it is something you missed out. So hope you hear all those great discussions soon in this panel. So all the best to all of you, and thank you.
Yes, Vivek.
Hi. Oh, hello, everybody. Good afternoon, or rather good early evening. My name is Vivek, and I've spent about 20 years in the human resource function. Worked with a couple of banking as well as technology companies, various cities in India. I hail from Chennai originally, but I've been stationed in Pune for the last 6 years. But I've eventually transformed as a mindfulness coach. So that's the journey that I've begun right now, and something that I manifested my life long, since childhood, to become a musician, or rather to have an album released. I have my first album called Begin, up on all leading audio platforms, YouTube, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, etc. So I'd like to encourage everybody to go up, look up for my album and listen to those meditative tracks. And thanks so much for welcoming here. It certainly is, a pleasant surprise that I'm seated right here amongst, great people, like these. And I hope this discussion is going to be interactive. Thank you.
Sorry. Sandhya madam.
Yeah. Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Sandhya Pandey. Right now I am Director and Connected Care Site Leader for India in Philips India. Over the discussion I will explain that, but I spent 25 years in automotive industry, and from last 1 year I am in healthcare industry. And while working in automobile industry, I worked in almost all the functions except front-end sales and marketing. Product development, product strategy, business strategy, supply chain strategy, corporate strategy, every function, including the R&D, manufacturing, setting up the plants, all 25 years I worked it. And that's very, very interesting to know you as a coming managers. And from last 1 year, I changed my domain, and now I am a country leader, India leader for connected care business in Philips, and also responsible for R&D of healthcare products for global Philips.
Welcome. Swati More madam, I believe the students may know her. Swati ji, please.
Yeah, yes, I very much belong to this own place. My name is Professor Swati More. I am the Head Corporate Relations and Placement for MIT-ADT University. It's absolute pleasure to be with all the people. By the way, I'm an ex-HR. I worked 17 years in corporates, and in my last assignment, I was the area HR manager for Bharat Group. And now I'm into academics. It's been 6 years I'm into academics, so I can relate both the sides very well. And to tell ma'am, yesterday only we had Philips pre-placement talks. I'm so happy that, Philips is looking forward to hire a student from our university. So thank you very much.
So the topic of the day is the challenges for HR in the new normal. So let me begin one step behind and let me ask some interesting questions one by one. First question goes to Anjali. Yeah. what challenge did you face during the pandemic from the HR perspective?
Okay. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about the challenges, the most beautiful and fascinating thing what we have faced in last 1 year. So entire career for 8 years, the wonders has been happened in last year was more about holding offer, holding double offers, was a new normal to HR to listen apart from the current and expected CTC, what is a ritual. Second, the candidate or the resource is promising to join the organization despite having a good reputation about the company in the market. Random CTC was much appreciated from the service-based company and many of them leading towards startup. So yes, these three challenges became very new normal for the HR career, and it has been, I think, globally what we have discussed in our meetings and started from US. So India is no longer behind following the US culture. So whatever happened there, like fortunately or unfortunately, we do follow. So yes, it's the one we have mentioned, holding double or triple offers is a new normal. So those things.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nabomita, question goes to you is, how do you identify the passion and, the core skills that you want to hire in the people that you hire?
Okay, this is quite tricky, right? Because people who are passionate are extremely sensitive and emotional as well. And people who are skill oriented are the ones, it's the right brain, left brain divide, right? However, when we are hiring for a job, there is always a revenue return in question, right? At the end of the day, that it boils down to that. At the same point of time, what we do not know is the challenges that the job will have, right? Just as she was explaining about the new normal in HR, I just want to take a step back, and there had been a debate about HR professionals that you don't need too many HR professionals in a company, right? Most of it is admin, it can be done by the bots, just keep 1 or 2%. Why have so many HR professionals? This was a debate which went on for a long time, and the debate came to a halt, thankfully, during COVID time. Why? That was the point of the time when actually you don't have the HR in the location, everybody is working from home, right? You actually have bots and technology. That's the point of time you realize the real value of your HR. When your employees are managing their family members affected by COVID or not affected by COVID or some other challenges, it's the HR who comes to the firefighting, not the line manager, not the business manager. They definitely go for a hiding and put the HR to manage the entire thing and just look for the target achieving on the business part, right? So this is exactly what happens to the skill and the passion divide. You can always hire for the skill. Trust me, every business leader hires for the skill, no matter how much they love passionate people, no matter how much they want such fired up professionals. They only want the person who can learn the skill at the drop of a hat with the least training investment and absolutely zero hand-holding, and can get the job done, get the client in, get the revenue in. They want to hire that person. But then they come to a halt and they wake up to the scenario that they have to hire somebody who can get that revenue, get that client, may need a lot of hand-holding, may need a lot of mentoring, but will actually keep the business going when everything goes out. So that's where the skill and the passion divide is. For me, I literally hire for the passion. Literally, my employees, none of my employees, in my company, I do not have any job description. I have a requirement. There is a business that has to be brought in. Anybody who is ready to perform in that role do not need any kind of a fitment in that. You have to be just be fired up to do that job. That's it. No fitment, no requirement, nothing. That's it. I hire for passion. I can train people. I can skill them. Training and trust me, training and skilling, all these investment, all these all this effort that goes in. Again, it is passion oriented. Again, it is like you said before, the skill and the will. If the will is there, the skill can always come in. So it's the passion that I hire for. But the businesses, they will say passion, they're hiring for skill, they're lying. Sorry.
Very good. Vivek?
So, I mean, I completely agree with what, ma'am said, because I also go after, people with the right will. Skill can obviously, be trained, but at the same time, I think skill fitment, is also, pretty much important in any candidate for that matter. One needs to be, really prepared to take up any kind of role within the same function at any point in time. And of course, when I say any point in time, there's a little bit of duration given, to pick up. But it goes hand in hand. But what, precedes over the other, I would say, that it is definitely the will, because it comes from within, right? It's not something that someone's forcing on to, anybody. But I want to go back to, your previous question on the difficulties during the, the time. I've come up with in fact, I'm actually preparing a curriculum called the HR for non-HR, managers. And this is something that you also mentioned in your previous discussion. So this, actually this thought came from the fact that I had been to one of the, sessions before, which was finance for non-finance managers. So, and, in the previous discussion, a couple of panel members were talking about, HR should understand the business, and we need to align our thoughts with the business objectives, etc. I was so tempted to ask this question: how many of those business managers really know about what HR is, right? Many of the hiring managers think that recruitment is not my responsibility, not my job. Well, it is. We only source people for you. The rest of it is all the line manager's job. They need to find the right fit. So yeah, so that's the take. Thanks.
Sandhya, after the new normal, the industry has suddenly realized that there are a lot of managers around in the organizations who are actually working like postmasters.
Line manager point of view. Okay, I give my requirements to HR, and HR try to bring up the talent for me. Couple of areas which has changed after COVID, and one area which is very, very important, and that's going to be a new normal, is that how resilient your managers are, right? How quickly they adopt the change, how quickly they react to the situation and take the decision, right? So the definition of leadership is changed from managing only the people, right? It's changed to how do you react, how do you manage, and how do you address the situations, and how do you do the problem solving at that particular level. And that requires a lot of resilience, a lot of problems solving ability, seeing through, and another one more very, very important is that connecting with the people at an emotional level. I think that has been very much necessary right now, actually. I agree with what Madam has said. In our organization also, it is said that line manager is the first HR, okay? And the line manager who is not able to address the issues related to his own team, then HR comes into problem. Okay, this is a new thinking. I agree with you. I grew up in the both eras where there are shoulders from HRs. HR used to take it, but now the HR has been moving more towards the business partners, right? Rather than the people managers. Okay, rather than addressing the people-related issue, they are looking at a more perspective related to the business. And then they are talking more about the talent strategies and strategic hirings and how to build the critical skills, and all those things are coming into picture. So nowadays, HR is not remain only to manage the human, right? HR has come as a business partner. And from that point of view, we as a leader has to really start thinking through that how do we are going to manage our people as a first line of HR actually. And that's the biggest change, or that's the biggest new normal which is coming forward.
Wonderful thought. Rather than binding people with procedures and policies, it's bonding with people more important.
Yes.
Correct? This is the summation of what my panelists have shared so far. Swati madam, a very interesting question poised for you here. What I understand is most academics generally, boast about some offer from Amazon to the top selling, package, some big offers, some 1 crore, 50 lakhs, 80 lakhs, So what I understand is the students are always preconceivedly given a thought that so and so package is something that you need to earn after, the course graduates. So looking at the industry pattern where the new employee demands are rising, where productivity pressures are rising, the pressure everywhere. Managing life, earning money, student pressure of academics scoring well. So how do you coach these students to handle this pressure, and how do you help them graduate from here to the industry?
Am I audible? Yeah. In fact, yeah, it's a very important question. I believe all my TPO friends who have joined here can relate, and all faculties can relate with this question. We are very fortunate enough to be working with an organization wherein all these aspects have been taken care by our founders, and under their able guidance, I am happy to tell you all that. In fact, this is the only university who believe in student well-being. Not only like they are imparting degrees, but their well-being, their mental health, their spirituality aspects has been taken care. Along this, university has 14 different institutes under 3 cluster, I would say, art, design and technology. And irrespective of the domain, all these students, right from their first year to final year, they have been put into you can say a course or which has been linked, a syllabus which has been linked with a credit, which has nothing to do with their domain, but only for value system enhancement. So their mental health as well as their, you can say, ethics, and we want to impart a degree to a student who's not only a student but a very well educated graduate with a value system. So for that we have School of Corporate Leadership and Innovation Cell. Right from the first year to final year, they have been taught about the skills beyond the academics. Like we take care of their aptitude skill, their technical skills. We teach them yoga in association with School of Holistic Development. Our students are undergone sessions like yoga. They have been acquainted with a lot of sessions which has nothing to do with the academics, but it's more of a well-being. All right. So every gamut of being a good personality has been taught in our university, and apart from this also, every faculty, every person working for this university takes extra effort in grooming a student and counseling them at every stage. So when I talk about myself, when we actually start the placement season, we kind of conduct the sessions for the student wherein we take them through the process of campus to corporate. We kind of counsel them and tell them that what is there happening, what are the expectations of the industry and what they should do. They like it or they don't like it. Either willingly or unwillingly, we put them through all this information. Some of them are very receptive about this information. Some eventually realize, because ghar ki mulgi always dal barabar. So that's the reason we call a lot of guests speakers. We conduct a lot of workshops, seminars to educate them the expectations of the industry. Stress, definitely in today's area, nothing is without stress. But we educate them what are the things which are happening, and exactly this event is meant for that only. Giving them the actual exposure, coming from the house's mouth, what has been expected, it has been told to them, and they have been very recipient. Like, I understand this is a latest marketing gimmick that, the admissions are linked with the placement. I don't believe in that. There have been, academics is purely academics. Placement, I always say, is a gesture, is not a mandate for any academic institution. If the student, he or her, if they are skilled properly, if they have a right kind of skills, knowledge, and right attitude, definitely they are going to get jobs in market. But again, giving them a good knowledge is very important. As you've been talking about skilling, upskilling, reskilling, skills is something that has been taught. Knowledge, by doing a degree with us, the knowledge has been imparted. But attitude is something which has to do with the individual value system. And if we are able to add a value in making their attitude right, I think the stress matter has already been sorted. So that is how I think we should, yeah.
So last question to the panelists, then I'll go on to the question answer session with the students. The last important question that I want to ask all of you, one question to all of you, is that before pandemic, there was a crude corporate world which said perform or perish. Either you perform or you perish. In the pandemic, layoffs and salary cuts seen primarily. And post-pandemic, suddenly, the employees are running away and retention is the biggest challenge. So 3 phases in quick time is what we have seen over a period of time. One time perform or perish, huge pressure of performance. And second, layoffs, salary cuts. And now, suddenly there is a whopping offers to all employees and employees are moving ahead. So retention is the $1 million challenge as of now with current situation. So what is your take on how to handle retention?
Sure. So as far as I understood by your question that you're talking about how we can handle the situation so far, the very unbelievable dynamic we saw in last a year, that high performance and then layoffs and then high demand in terms of salary. So despite being a domain of the company, it's a service based or a product based, it comes from the resource attitude, or maybe you can say about the morality. As Swati ma'am has mentioned, that attitudes what matters the most being in any circumstances or conditions. So only those has been performed so nice in those dynamic time so far, and rest of them, I mean, in terms of expectations or high amount of salary, who will not get attracted towards handling those in a pretty well situations. Being honest, as an employer, it's very difficult to handle as such. But still, morality do exist. People are loyal to the employers. There are people who are pretty loyal to themselves, that they are giving 8 to 9 hours on a daily basis, so they'll be loyal to the company and being productive. They want to be productive, not for the company, not for the payment, not for the salary credit message end of the month, but they want to be productive for themselves. They are the hard worker, they respect themselves, their work, despite being a thankless job. I mean, as we know, there are many HRs sitting in the house. They know how management and HR job is thankless job. And people do recognize us that they do. I think people management, they do talk, they're a good speaker, they're a good influencer, but what HR does? So despite that tag, we do our job in a pretty well manner. We do respect that. We do understand the hurdles we have faced so far. So it's a two-wheeler. If you talk about the employer should understand or maybe how they will handle the situation. So also we take or receive a reciprocation from the employee, from the good employees so far working in a good reputed or a startup company, or they are entrepreneur in some consultant. So yeah, it's a two-wheeler, sir. If you say that how we manage, so how they also managed in such way where their friends were getting placed in a good company with a good CTC. If I say that from 9 lakhs to 30 lakh placement, I mean, they got just like 3 offers in hand. And I think the releasing offer was very easy in that virtual round of interviews, where they got an offer from a LinkedIn or a Naukri, and then next day they're getting paid. They're having an offer, CTC breakup in hand, and then taking a counter offers. So yeah, it's a two-way. They have also reciprocated and coordinated in a nice manner. So probably the session what we are talking here and there in a whisper way, not coming at front, but yes, they'll not be impacted in such way. People are afraid of a session. But the one who's being on the higher side of the pay can get affected, and they are the one gems who
individuals who work for themselves, who really love their job despite being employee of a company, or they do respect and appreciate themselves, their job, and being a hard worker. Thank you so much.
How do you retain your key employee?
She almost said everything. Is there anything that I can add still? Okay. Honestly, yeah, she's good. She completely touched upon all the points. You cannot stop somebody from jumping because of money. You can never do it. However, there will always be people who might get enticed by money, but will still give a second thought just because you are offering a promise of the future. Right? I can give you many examples. One of the examples is Mr. Anand Jain. He started a company called Berk. Right? Berk was bought over by Reliance, and then he exited from that company. But when he created Berk, Berk was a startup. He had hired a bunch of youngsters for his company, and he made sure all these youngsters become founders. Each of them are running startups, which is a unicorn. One of them is the founder to the biggest cryptocurrency company in India. One of them, and each of them, there are 7 or 5. Mr. Jain calls them birth mafias. Each of them are owners to such histories in India. As an employer, if that's what you can push your employees to, trust me, they will never leave you. Push them to greatness. Thank you so much. Push them to greatness. Not everybody will see it, right? As a student, when I went to XLRI, I went to XLRI for the job. It's only after so many years I feel like a fool because that institute gave me so much more than a job. At your point, do you want to look at a job or do you want to look at the future? When you see a faculty, do you see great or do you see a person who can change your life? I saw my faculty as great initially, but when he changed my life, I felt so embarrassed. That's exactly what will happen to you when you reach your office. Do you see a new job offer as a new salary that you will take home, or do you see your old employer who is offering you not
The same salary, but something interesting to do in the future. The decision is in your hands. No matter how many kinds of initiatives or programs that we run, it will never be enough. The decision is at the other end. So that's my point.
Vivek, from an employee engagement perspective, does not limit to rangolis or probably traditional festivals or some entertainment programs, correct? How do you engage people to retain them is the question that I would like to shoot to both of you.
Wow. Okay. So firstly, I thought I was going to cover the previous question, but anyway, nevertheless. So this is how challenges come. It's really unexpected, and you need to be prepared. With respect to employee engagement, again, a lot of organizations keep talking about 5 pillars of engagement. Some say 7 pillars of engagement. Of course, these are, some of them are really readily available, like bringing a financial advisor, to the company to give financial strength to the employees, so they know where to invest, how to make more money, and things like that. There's a physical, well-being session, so they bring in a yoga instructor, sometimes even a laughter therapist, come and do that. But, if you look at all the speakers today, there's at least a minute when each one of them have spoken about the stress that one goes through, right? I have seen in one of the companies, where like how there used to be a physician, a doctor visiting companies for a couple of hours, and that there is a nursing room as well, so people can go and rest for a while if they are not keeping well. I think it's time now, especially in this world, in today's world, when there's a lot of competition, etc. So I think there needs to be, a consultant. I'm not trying to sell my company, but I think organizations should look at, having some maybe, mindfulness coaches visiting them for an hour or two. Make it a fortnightly practice. Bring in a schedule. There are so many people who like to do pro bono, sessions. And this also comes from the fact that I was listening to one of the CHROs, the group CHRO, right? And she happened to speak about 5 pillars of engagement, and the moment when the well-being pillar, was mentioned, her script was maybe for 10 seconds, and that's it, right? Please, we need to talk about it. You all need to be open about what you feel, what you experience. I am awestruck with what Maneesha delivered a couple of minutes ago, and definitely with ma'am as well. Also, Sita for that matter. He spoke about. I mean, it's so candid, right? It wasn't a structure. There's no paper. Not reading through. It's coming ad hoc. It's coming from here, right? So we all need to be prepared mentally to talk about what we feel, what we experience. And I think as organizations, we need to show that path to our employees so that they are able to come forward and talk about it. You give them the confidence that it's going to be closed door, confidential, anonymous. We'll use whatever terms, to bring in that confidence. But I think we need to take that initiative, across. Otherwise, Rangolis will help.
Beautiful. Sandhya madam, how do you give that confidence to employees? How do you give them home-like comfort, a family-like feeling, and engaging them per se, not by giving, lot of workload, but engaging them by per se, connecting them to the hearts and the organization processes by per se?
See, there are a couple of ways. I can share one practice, and I really liked what you mentioned, that you don't have a job description. I'm going to take that as a learning for me.
Absolutely, that's a learning for me as well.
See, this is very, very important. First of all, we did the analysis that which are the categories where people are living, okay? Now, fortunately, I will not tell what is our attrition rate, but our attrition rate is in the single figure, okay? We did the analysis that which are those brackets from where the employees are living, right? And what is the motivation for them to live, okay? And each bracket has a different motivation to find out the job outside our own company. And we try to address based on those insights actually, okay? Obviously, some insight was definitely the salary, especially the entry level bracket, right, was definitely the salary. But we then started addressing the factors which are impacting for the attrition outside the salary, right? Then growth factor, challenging job, rotation within the organization. So we have given the opportunity for them to change first from their functional areas, go to other areas, right? From one level to another level, taking more and more responsibility. We have also implemented the gig. I think most of you know this gig, right? We also implemented the gig. So you keep on doing your own assignments, own role and responsibility, but also take those gigs which are short term, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. If you like that, you can build your next step, your next moment based on that gigs what you are doing. So these are some of the areas. We have created the leadership team, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and each one has a responsibility based on in which level they are working. They have a responsibility on 2 factors. One is what they are supposed to deliver, and the second thing is what they should be doing, taking the ownership to develop the organization culture. So we have created the team within the teams, right, leadership team, and they should drive the organization culture, take the ownership within the culture, within the organization, drive those actions, drive those strategies, and we work towards that. In our organization, as a leadership team, we never created our strategic vision, right? Always the strategic vision is created by our people. Whatever project, strategic action coming out of those strategic visions are driven, implemented by the team. And the team or the specific individual who is implementing those strategic vision, those strategic action, successfully get a chance to elevate. So there is some sort of competitiveness is also created by this action, so that if I do better, I will get the better recognition, better positions, better opportunities to work on this particular project. So what happens is, at certain level, again, Maslow's triangle? Okay. Where is the money is playing the role? Where is the job satisfaction playing the role? Where is the recognition is playing the role, right? Where is the social recognition is playing the role? We need to start taking into account all these aspects and drive the action towards that to retain the employee. On the top of that, I understand the situation. Great resignation is everywhere, right? And believe me, and at least as a line manager, as a first manager, once the person has decided that I want to leave the organization, I make very less effort to make sure that he is staying actually. Because the person makes his decision to leave the organization, that means he has made the decision. Whatever lollipops you give to him, right? Whatever promises you give to him, whatever commitments you give to him, after few years, after a couple of years, he will again come back to the same thing. So if he has made his mind that I want to leave it, right? And I am taking this my example because just now I mentioned I have moved out across all the functions in my 25 years. This is one of the reasons that I wanted to understand and explore myself, move out of the boundary, right? Challenge myself, and then see what I can achieve. And that's exactly what we offer to our employees also. Move out of your challenge, move out of your comfort zone, explore the opportunities, and the moment you show them the opportunity, show them the challenge, they will retain with you.
Very good.
And that's exactly what we are trying to follow.
Yeah, I would like to add one point, to what ma'am said, is that we all have purpose. We spoke about 3 types of happiness. If I recall correctly, it's pleasure, passion, and purpose, right? So, if we look at these 3 words, pleasure is, to me. Passion is again to me because it comes from within. But purpose is two-way, right? All I would request the students of this age and also to the extended, audience from the HR fraternity, etc. We all have a purpose in life, okay? We all have a purpose in anything we do. But let that purpose be yours, right? Anjali spoke a while back, and that is when I thought about this, Sudhir. When she mentioned that my friends joined another company, so let me also go there. Don't become a package deal. You don't want to become a part of that package deal, right? Have a purpose and let that purpose be yours. As simple as that.
Just one last point from the student perspective actually, right? The technical skill or the technical competencies are changing every 3 years, okay? What is important is your own passion, your own willingness to learn, your own attitude, and the competencies which you build around that will take you far away. Technical skills are changing every year. Today you are learning artificial intelligence, tomorrow there is a digital twin, day after tomorrow there is something different. That journey will continue, but as long as you build your own value system, your own attitude, your own behavior, your own passion, you will keep on learning and you can keep on flourishing. Money should follow you. You should not follow the money. Keep this principle in the mind. You will get money. Money is there, right? But you should not run behind the money. Money will keep on following you. That's the best advice I can give today.
Beautiful. Sandhya madam rightly said, the new mantra for engaging employees is job rotation. Probably job rotation is, there's a monotone of job also one of the reasons why employees quit their jobs. So to bring some excitement in the job rotation can be a wonderful tool. Also, having one technical leadership doing a people leadership role can also enhance one more perspective bringing into action, correct? So there are various perspectives that comes into action. I'll quickly give an opportunity to the students to ask few questions. I open the dais for question answer session for the students so that they get something from here. Over to students. Any questions from the audience?
Any questions, student? I know it's been a long day.
Any questions from the audience? Any question? Yes.
Yeah, there is a question.
Mike. Wait,
A very good evening to one and all present here. I, Karina Soni, right now I am pursuing MBA in HR from the MIT-ADT University. My question is, how can an HR domain or management can help in sustainability and growth of an individual in the corporate world?
Okay, this has two dimensions I can tell. One is the HR role and contribution of HR role into the sustainability. Actually, if we talk about the sustainability from the environmental point of view, right, then as a HR, you can develop the policies within your organization who will create the impact into the environment. Simple policies, sustainability point of view, simple policy like how many prints you take, are those prints are valid prints? How many plastic bottles you use, right? Can you use the reusable bottles rather than the plastic bottles? In one of my previous discussion, we discussed that we will not keep all the plastic bottles like this, right? And we will keep the bottles we can refillable, right? How do you develop the facilities which can have a natural lights, good ventilations rather than using the ACs or rather than using the artificial lights? So these are all recycling, right? The wastewater recycling. So these are all the aspects of sustainability aspects which can create the impact on the environment, can be driven through HR as an engagement activity. So HR can create that level of engagement within the system so that people join those sustainability activity and keep engaged within the organization.
Thank you.
Any other question from students, HR fraternity, anybody? Any questions from the audience?
Hello. Yeah, hi, good afternoon. My question is, I am practicing HR and I'm also a consultant, and I would like to know that how can we build a HR function or a speciality in a way that it adheres to, like you said, ma'am from Philips, India, you said you are from the line function, and I completely understand that because I'm myself from the line function. It took me at least 15 years to understand. I'm still trying to understand what is the speciality called a HR skill versus human skills that leaders needs to practice, managers needs to practice, and employees and being human in general we need to practice. And is there a way that we can define that, okay, this is an HR skill, like a upskilling, reskilling system, versus this is a human skill which everybody in the organization has to bring to, because this is what is required to practice the organizational citizenship or the value or the vision to which the organization we work for is dedicated to. And if there is a way we can make it industry specific also, because that will really help, like, best practices among or within that particular island of industry that we belong to.
Okay, there is one skill, right? Since you said human, right, and that remains independent of every sector, segment, industry, and that is empathy, right? That is one skill which is good enough, which every HRs automatically have. I mean, anybody who goes in for an HR genetically have that skill in them. Line managers, just as ma'am said earlier, they are now becoming HRs. That's exactly the skill which they are probably heightening right now, and that is empathy. Essentially empathy. Yes, you can study a lot of policy, you can study laws, you can study structures, design, everything. In fact, you can even go ahead and train yourself in human brain techniques, right? All those things are good. Those are higher level. If you can invest yourself in those HR skills wherein you are good enough in brain mapping, you are good enough in
predicting others' behavior, right? Those are very deep level. I mean, I would want to name NLP because I did have a discussion with him. He is a practitioner. Probably he can share a lot more on that. That kind of a skill are pure HR skill. Obviously, if anybody wants to invest who is not in HR and wants to learn it, it will always help them in their jobs. However, the core human skill that everybody needs to have is empathy. That's it. You want to add on to it?
Yeah, so I would define it this way, that human resource is a term given to a department who deals with human beings, right? Let us keep it as simple as this. Because everybody else, someone who's a designer, like a product designer, what do we call them? Or what do we call that department? Product designing department, learning and development department, training department, admin. So human resource department is a department that deals with human resources. Okay. Coming to human skills, each one of us who are categorized as human beings will naturally carry it, but over a period of time we forget certain skills that we naturally inherited or we know about. Few of it we kind of practice. For example, and I feel sorry when I say this, and honestly only after I experienced, even I started behaving that way, that when I went into an elevator, I met another, one like me, Indian, whichever part of India he was from. Stood in one corner and I stood in one corner, and then we traveled 10 floors. We didn't bother about the other person, right? One experience, I was traveling with a Firang. He smiled at me the moment he was entering. He said, "Hi, how are you?" Well, leaving, he said, "Have a good day," and bye, gave a nice smile. It's a feel-good factor, right? I mean, it's a small thing, right? So that is human skill, right? And that's how I would like to, differentiate the two.
I will share one example here which comes to my mind very sharp. My mother studied till 3rd standard in Telugu medium. Okay? She was a wonderful chef. She was a wonderful manager. She was almost a doctor, first aid doctor, and name the skills and she had everything. I am hardly 5% of what my mother had, those skills. And if a mother can have those skills, probably every mother has those skills. Today, the generation is faster, the young mothers are educated, but earlier, yesteryears, the young mothers were not educated. But they still possessed all these skills, from customer service to HR to all. The thankless job that the HR does, our mothers have done donkey years and then said, oof, for a while. So I say that if these skills are inherited by everyone, probably human resource will be truly human. That's it. Thank you all. It was wonderful being with all of you. I thank all the panelists here, Anjali, Nabomita, Vivek, Sandhya and Swati madam. It was an interesting session. Thank you. Lot of insights, lot of industry previews, and it was wonderful. Thank you once again. I just would want to hear a round of applause loudly to my ears to make me feel good factor. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful panel, and I would like to give special thanks to a few of the panel members who have been informed very last minute, then also have done a wonderful job. So thank you so much all of you. Can we have a big round of applause for our entire panel? Now I would like to call Professor Ashwini Joshi to present vote of thanks.
Good evening all. respected dais, distinguished guests, delegates, colleagues, and my dear students. I, Dr. Ashwini Joshi, faculty of Midcom, indeed privileged to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of
Before vote of thanks, we would like to, felicitate as a part of MIT culture all other HR who could not be invited on the stage, but they have been very patient and they accepted our invitation and been here for the entire day. So as a token of love from our side, we would like to invite them on the stage and felicitate by hands of our Dean ICT and Dr. Sunita Karad ma'am. So I would like to announce them. You please join us on the stage. So we have Preeja ma'am. Are you there? Okay. Poonam ma'am. Okay. Preeja ma'am is here. She is from Meshintel organization. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. We have Poonam ma'am also from the same organization. I request her to please come on the dais. We have Prachi from the same organization.
I request media team, a photographer to be present on the front desk.
Somebody from students side, student coordinator, please click the photograph of all the dignitaries of felicitation. Some student, please come on the front. Student representative, okay. She's from Ultimate Training and now I request Dipen Sharma ma'am to come. She's from EnvoCare Labs.
Can we have a big round of applause for her? Next we have Mr. Rajiv Joshi from Shlok Auto. Rajesh Bhagat. Mr. Rajesh Bhagat from Jiffy. Mr. Atul Bangal from HR Consultant. Mr. Atul Bangal Mr. Ullas Wagh. Mr. Ullas Wagh. Next we have Mr. Sunil Shinde.
Written names which are not readable. I request all HR. So I request the HR fraternity whose name is not announced, please come on the dais.
Next we have Mr. Satish Mari. Mr. Rohan Gawade, BVG India Limited. Dr. Bharat Dekne from BVG India. Ms. Diksha Shetty from Food Tech Pathshala. Can we have next Ms. Hani Kumari? Hani Kumari from Mudita Consultancy. Next we have Ms. Hemlata Kamare from Food Tech Pathshala. Mr. Dominic DeMello from Cirrus. Mr. Sumit Shah from Practical EduSkill. Ms. Jyoti Sharma from Nuance Communications. Next we have Mr. Sameer Upadhyay from TCS. Okay, by any chance if we have missed out anybody's name, kindly please come on stage. Maybe we were not able to read out your name. Mr. Santosh Pawar from SIMT. I would request, still if any guests are pending, please join us on stage. Can we all have a big round of applause for Mr. Santosh? Now I would like to call Mr. Kuldeep Sharma from Fujitsu. Next we have Mr. Rishi Bulani from FinSmart. Can we have a big round of applause for him? Still, if any HRs are pending, please kindly join us on stage. Sir, please join us on stage. We have Dr. Sunil Kapadia from Sun Investments. Ma'am, please join us on the stage. Ms. Aishwarya from Chamber International and Shwetali Rathod. Can we all have a big round of applause for all our guests present over here today? Now I would like to request Professor Ashwini Joshi to resume her vote of thanks. Okay. Now I would request all the keynote speakers to join us on a stage for Pasaidan. Nabomita ma'am, please join us on stage. Sudhir sir, please join us on stage.
Good evening. Respected dais, distinguished guests, delegates, colleagues, and my dear students. I, Dr. Ashwini Joshi, faculty of MIT College of Management, am indeed privileged to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of MIT Art, Design and Technology University, Pune. We at MIT-ADT are privileged to have the grandest conglomerate of human resource experts who made this event a grand success. We are really grateful to our distinguished speakers, esteemed panelists who have accepted our invitation for the theme-based sessions and the panel discussion, which is an integral part of the National HR Conclave 2022 on the emerging paradigm and changing dynamics of HR Vision 2030. As said by Alvin Toffler, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. This is relevant today as we are in the era of disruptions and challenges being faced in the human resource management due to the dynamics of business environment. To deliberate on various issues, challenges, and opportunities, MIT-ADT University has always played a proactive role in building conferences around themes close to the heart of various sectors. The main goal of the mega HR conclave is to project the issue of the emerging paradigm and the changing dynamics of HR post-pandemic, and also to understand how organizations are planning for challenges and opportunities to cope up with the war for success and survival in the era of cutthroat competition. The conclave will help in building a stronger bond between industry and academia so that they take up the challenge of changing the dynamics of HR. The objective of the conclave was to reflect on the unfinished task of nation building and the country's future possibilities of being the next superpower. The conclave gave an opportune time to renew contacts and discuss trends of mutual interest with enlightening views from the industry experts. It is gratifying to note that the agenda of National HR Conclave, Emerging Paradigm and Changing Dynamics, had all the experts on a common platform. We had Dr. Sheetal Kumar Ravandale, Komal Somani Madam, Nabomita Mazumdar Madam, Sitaram Kandi Sir, Santosh Bhave Sir, Maneesha Sharma Madam, who came as eminent resource persons for the inaugural and for the guest sessions. I extend my gratitude to all the speakers for accepting our invite and sharing their knowledge. Through the panel discussion we had, in-depth deliberations as well as knowledge sharing, a positive outcome for an optimistic future and necessary course of action. We had panelists Mr. Sudhir Mateti, Vaibhav Kelkar Sir, Dipen Sharma, Mr. Amit Kumar, Akanksha Angel Roy, Maneesha Sharma Madam, Sandhya Pandey Madam, Anjali Ma'am and Swati More Ma'am, who took the way forward proliferating the outcomes of the panel discussion in this conclave. The insights of this conclave shall lead to a roadmap for future activities not only by MIT-ADT University but at many levels by many institutions and organizations. Thanks for the wonderful session, which was truly an eye-opener for all of us regarding the corporate scenario from the HR perspective. Gratitude for providing us with the area of expertise and making clear the gray areas of various issues which will propel us towards a dynamic India. Heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished management, Reverend Father, Founder and Visionary Professor Vishwanath Karad Sir, Honorable Executive President, the Man of Action, Dr. Mangesh Karad Sir, who is instrumental in converting vision into reality, and Dean Faculty of Management, Dr. Sunita Karan Madam, who always inspires us with the innovative endeavors and continuous encouragement propelling us towards excellence. I would like to thank the Dean's placement team at MIT-ADT University, head of the institutions, the organization team, technical team, social media team, and the entire support system of faculties as well as administrative staff, which directly and indirectly contributed in making the event a grand success. Gratitude to all the delegates and participants who have wholeheartedly participated, without whom the program would not have been possible. To summarize, to thrive in the constantly shifting world, human resource demands thoughtful approaches in strategy, leadership, enhanced capabilities and abilities to influence all stakeholders and reap in prime opportunities. Let us all unite and make the vision of making India the superpower a reality. Thank you all for gracing the mega event. We shall conclude with Pasaidan.